We're here to talk to you guys about the economic crisis Brazil's experiencing.
Brazil was colonized in 1500 by the Portuguese, who held power over Brazil from the 16th century to the 19th century. When the Portuguese arrived in Brazil, there was no advanced civilization. The natives were cavemen and women, and they hunted and fished for food and were illiterate. The Portuguese imported African slaves to do manual labor, since the natives were unable to. The fate of the natives ended up being similar to that of North American natives. During the 16th century, the economy was mainly based off of sugar. However, exports quickly declined due to growing competition from the Caribbean. At the end of the 16th century and beginning of the 17th, the discovery of gold and diamonds led many Europeans to immigrate to Brazil, as well as a lot of internal migration from the northeast to Minas, the center of mining activity. By the 18th century, gold production collapsed, and by the time Brazil became independent in 1822, the economy was back to being based on mostly agriculture. Now Brazil's economy is characterized by well-developed agriculture, mining, manufacturing, and servicing sectors.
According to Rostow's model of economic development, Brazil fits under stage 3. Yeah!
Their economy mainly exports goods from their agriculture, manufacturing, and mining industries. Brazil has used a wide variety of natural resources, which has helped the country in their enhancement of financial status. As well, Brazil is hoping to wipe out the rural poverty that still exists in the country. The government has been working very, very hard to take care of the natural resources, and by preserving them, it is trying to stabilize the overall economic condition of Brazil.
Brazil's population is roughly 200 million. The capital of Brazil is Brasilia, which has 2.6 million people. The largest cities in Brazil, based on population, are São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. São Paulo contributes to over a third of Brazil's GDP. Rio has attracted many oil companies with the discovery of oil in Campos Basin. International oil companies like Shell and Esso have some of their branches located around the area of Rio, as well as some of the companies' headquarters are located directly in Rio.
When it comes to free trade, Brazil is part of a group called Mercosur. Mercosur is a group of South American countries built up together to try and get an agreement of free trade sent through the EU. Nothing has been fully settled yet, and another large group Brazil is a part of is the BRIC, which is a group made up of large countries, Brazil, Russia, India, and China, and they all have settled on free trade agreements. The four countries together make up 40% of the total world's population, which shows how much power they really do have. When it comes to foreign aid, although Brazil's international development funds are still small compared to those of the industrialized world, the South American giant's foreign aid has grown considerably in the last 8 years. The country has now gone from receiving financial support from other countries to now being able to give back to other countries who are in need of help.
Between 2003 and 2014, 29 million people in Brazil were brought out of poverty. There was an average 4.4% income increase in the total population, and an average 7.1% income increase for the poorest 40% of the population. Since 2015, Brazil has been experiencing a steady decrease in growth rate, which has caused the economy to be unstable. In 2014, the percent change in GDP dropped into the negatives and has been gradually getting lower. As of 2015, the percent change in GDP has dropped to negative 5.9%. Due to various factors in the world markets, there has been low prices on Brazilian exports. On top of that, there has been a stagnation in the growth of the main industries in Brazil, causing the GDP to decrease. Ms. Rousseff has been focusing on solving the internal difficulties in the government and managing scandals within the government, which has detracted from managing the economy and debt. Therefore, nothing is being done to solve these economic issues, so they're continuing to worsen.
Who's to point fingers at, though? The woman in charge of this economic crisis is their leader, Dilma Rousseff. What kind of person wants to make cuts of over $15 billion to a country's GDP? She's basically saying, I want my country to fail. Her initial idea is to save money, which is okay, but how she's planning to do it is not okay. She's planning to cut Brazil's budget by $15 billion. That's crazy. Rousseff has promised to emulate social welfare programs as well as expand the stable fiscal policies. It's not okay.
With the Summer Olympic Games in Rio quickly approaching, the world's eyes are watching Brazil and their every move. They have less than 90 days to get their act together.
In order to do this, the government needs to start focusing more of their attention on fixing the economic issues and paying back their debt. Chris, what do you think of Brazil's economic crisis?
I think it's just horrible.